Hi, everyone. I'm Joy Marchese, and I'm the founder of Positive Discipline UK and a lead trainer for the Positive Discipline Association. Thank you for joining me this evening. I will be sharing with you tools and strategies based on my experience in the classroom for over 20 years and as a mother to help you keep your sanity and get through your day-to-day during this really challenging time. So I hope that this helps, and I will be with you for the rest of this week, Monday to Friday, and next week, Monday to Friday. So every evening at 8:30 p.m. UK time. So for those of you that are just joining, last night we talked about asking for help and taking time for training. And I really appreciate those of you that shared your experiences with me. I had a lot of people share that they were actually really surprised at how cooperative their children were when they just genuinely and authentically asked for help without having any expectations or conditions placed on it. So that was really exciting to hear. And I would love for you to, if you're on here live, to take a moment to just share with us, how did your child help today? So what did your child do that was just helpful, maybe out of the norm a little bit, that will really help inspire some others to hopefully share. So also, I received some schedules, which I'm going to be posting on after this call, and hope that helps. I'd still love to see the positive timeout spaces that were created. So please help others by sharing. So I just want to start we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm actually going to start by reading just a short excerpt from the book, Positive Discipline for Today's Busy and Overwhelmed Parents. So this is our topic, based on our topic tonight, which is understanding behavior, misbehavior, and the belief behind the behavior. So here we go. Do you remember your fantasies about what it would be like to have a child before you actually had one? This child would never have a snotty nose, would always be well-groomed and well-liked, would behave well, and would never talk back. By now, you've had your rude awakening, because the truth is that children don't always behave the way we expect them or wish they would. Misbehavior is a normal part of both early childhood development and an adolescent's individuation process. Adlerian psychology provides an excellent framework for understanding behavior. So before we get into talking about the belief behind the behavior, I want to discuss what we sometimes see as misbehavior when it actually isn't. So there are some reasons why children misbehave. And actually, it's really important. It touches a little bit on what we talked about last night. So there's 5 reasons why children misbehave. So I'll go through those quickly. Number 1, they don't have the skills yet. So this is kind of what we talked about last night. They may not be doing something that we ask because they actually don't know how. For example, if you asked a kid, do your laundry, they might not know how to do that. You have to actually teach them that skill. What if they have a homework assignment and they haven't learned the skill yet? They might not be being defiant because they don't want to do their homework. It might not be the most fun thing, doing laundry and homework, but they actually might not know how to do it. And think about all of those important life skills that you want to teach them, like respect, responsibility, self-regulation, which we talked about in the first session. They actually need to learn those skills as well. So we need to take time for training. If you want to know more about that, you can listen to last night's recording where we talked about that. The second reason is that our expectations may not be clear. So we talked about this last night I shared the example of cleaning your room. And I'd like to know, were any of you ever accused of misbehaving as well? Like you were accused of misbehaving, but in actuality, the expectations of the adult was not clear. So just type in yes or no in the comments below, so we know that we've all kind of experienced similar things. We've all been children, but we forget what it was like sometimes to feel misunderstood. The third reason is that it's actually developmental. So expecting a toddler, for example, to share all of their toys is not really age appropriate. they don't know how to share, and they're not ready to share. And actually, kids don't have to share everything. We can talk about that in another episode. When you think about a 1.5-year-old that's biting another child or biting their parents, that's actually age appropriate in the sense that children are still, toddlers are still figuring out their world. And how do they do that? Well, they do that a lot of the time with their mouth, actually, and they don't have the communication skills yet. They don't have a way to express themselves. And biting is a way to do that. It doesn't make biting okay. We still have to teach them what to do instead. What can they bite? They can chew food, and what to redirect their behavior to something that's more positive. But understanding what's going on, the motivation behind the behavior is really important in what we're talking about tonight. So those are the first 3 reasons. This next reason really hits home for me. So the next reason that children may misbehave is because it has to do with a special need or a learning difference. We call these innocent behaviors. So for example, something like ADHD. So I was an ADHD kid. I'm still an ADHD adult. That's why I move around so much. I use my hands, and I'm a bit fidgety, and why I like to be with people. I'm quite sociable. So when I was growing up and I was a child, my teachers would call me hyperactive and fidgety, and they said I couldn't focus. And I wasn't, I would play with things on the desk and fiddle around and always get out of my seat and ask to go to the bathroom all the time. And I remember my 2nd grade teacher, I won't mention her name, although she's probably not with us anymore. She was quite old then. I remember she used to yell at me all the time, and she would get so annoyed when I would touch things. And as a way to get me to stop, instead of understanding why I was so fidgety and trying to give me a way to redirect that so I could focus, she made me sit on my hands. The whole class. The only time I didn't have to sit on my hands was when I was writing or eating. So imagine how that felt. Really discouraging, and it's kind of like corporal punishment in a sense. So that innocent behavior of being fidgety was not because I was misbehaving. I wasn't trying to annoy her or disrupt the class. I wasn't even aware I was doing it half the time. The challenge is when we respond to an innocent behavior as if the child is misbehaving and we punish them like my teacher did with me, it leads to discouragements. And Rudolph Dreikers used to say that a misbehaving child is a discouraged child. So when you respond to an innocent behavior by punishing, it may lead to actually a misbehavior in the long run, if that makes sense. If this isn't making sense, I'm seeing that some of you are on there, then just stop me and ask me to explain a little bit more. Now, the 5th reason children misbehave is what I want to talk about for the rest of tonight. And that has to do with the belief behind the behavior. So going back to that discouragement. So when a child feels discouraged, they will tend to misbehave. And that's what we're going to talk about. Positive discipline is based on the psychology of Alfred Adler and Rudolph Dreikers. So I'm going to share a little bit of theory with you tonight from Adlerian psychology. And this is not new stuff. We're talking over a century ago. Adler was colleagues with Sigmund Freud. So just to put that into context. So I'm going to talk about what Adler called our private logic. So I want you to think about it this way. From the time we are born, okay, newborns, we're taking in our world. We take in our world with our 5 senses, right? We're like sponges. So we're perceiving everything that comes our way. Now, this is the beauty of young children. They are great perceivers, right? Their ability to take in new information is incredible. Think about what a child learns to do from the time they're born until, just age 3. All the skills that they're learning. So they're sponges, they're perceiving everything. The challenge is they have to then interpret that information that they're bringing in. And because their brain isn't fully developed, most of the time they're poor interpreters of that information. Now, this is the important piece. It's those perceptions and interpretations that form what Adler called our private logic or our belief systems. Okay, these are our belief systems that are pretty fully ingrained by the age of 6 or 7 years old. And this is what I want you to take away from this evening. It's our beliefs systems, our beliefs that drive or motivate our behavior. So all of our behavior has a purpose. I hope that that's clear. I'm just going to check the comments to see if anyone has and I have someone in here saying that was me in second grade. I'm going to laugh because that's my sister that said that. And we had the same second grade teacher, and that's who I was talking about. My sister's 2 years older. So this teacher tortured both of us, I guess. I'm a teacher. Not all teachers do that, at least not now. So getting back to this private logic. So by the age of 6 or 7 years old, we have formed our belief systems, our core belief systems. And remember, in the first session, we talked about our brain and our reptilian brain and our limbic system and our amygdala, which stores those past memories and emotions. That's it, really deep rooted in our subconscious. We don't even realize that we develop those belief systems, but they're driving our behaviors and motivation every single day. So let's think about it this way. If you look at, I'm going to show you a diagram here. Let's see if I can do this well. Okay, so if you can see this is an image of an iceberg, and you've probably seen this used in a lot of contexts. So if you just look at the top, you'll notice that the tip of the iceberg is the behavior. That's what we see. It's only like 10%, maybe 15% of what we see. And what's below the surface is that belief system. Okay, and you can see that's most of what's going on. If we just focus on the behavior and managing the behavior, and I know that some of you are really, you're going to deal with more and more challenging behaviors as we all have to stay home and stress levels increase. That's why that self-regulation is such an important tool. So if you focus just on that behavior, it's almost like you're putting a Band-Aid on it. If you punish, if you reward, you will eliminate the behavior on the short term, but in the long term, it will keep coming back. Because if you think about an iceberg, if you just chip away at the tip of the iceberg, do you know what happens to the iceberg? It floats up, it keeps rising to the surface. Okay, so that behavior will keep coming back. It's almost like if you had an arsonist going around lighting houses on fire and you were going out with a fire hose putting those out, the fires wouldn't stop. Temporarily, you would put them out, but the fires would keep coming. The only way to stop the fires is to catch the arsonist. So the only way to really change a behavior is to actually focus on the belief behind the behavior and what's driving the behavior. So this is really important to understand, that every human being, okay, including children and adults, have two basic needs. Now, this is aside from our needs of survival, food and shelter, which actually right now, that's what a lot of people are focusing on. So, that's our number one priority. After that, our basic needs are belonging, so having connection, and significance, having a sense of purpose or contribution. We talked about that last night when we talked about giving children chores, and that contribution is such an important piece of them feeling capable and being motivated. So you'll see at the very bottom of this iceberg that it says belonging and contribution. So basically, our driving force is to have that belonging and significance. So if we're not feeling connection or significance, we will feel discouraged and therefore misbehave. We will find a way to get that need met, even if it's negative. So I'll put this up so you can take a snapshot. This is really hard for me to do backwards. The primary goal of all children is belonging and significance. So we can achieve that through connection before correction. And we'll be talking about that next week, connection before correction. So let me just check and see if anyone has any questions on here. Someone made a comment, and this is really, I just want to repeat this. Yes, absolutely. We forget what it was like to feel misunderstood. Thank you for the reminder. So a lot of this is actually trying to put ourselves in the shoes of the child. So really trying to understand what's going on below the surface for them. So why this is so important right now is because right now, especially, children are taking everything in. They're listening to everything you say. They're watching what you do. They're looking to you to figure out their world. They're trying to make sense of this, and the only way for them to make sense of it is to look for cues. So children are always making decisions about themselves. Am I good? Am I bad? Am I capable? Am I not capable? They're always making decisions about others. Can I trust them? Can I not trust them? About the world. Is the world safe? Is it unsafe? And right now, many children are making the decision that this world is not safe for them. And we need to create that safety for them in the home. And then they're making decisions about what they need to do. Can I thrive through encouragement or just merely survive? So it's up to us to really make sure that what we do and what we say is going to develop those belief systems of resiliency, that we can overcome things, and not belief systems of fear. And this is a scary world. So I want to give you an example of how these belief systems are formed. Tomorrow we'll be talking about mistakes, and we'll be talking about how mistakes are opportunities, and we'll also talk about how to recover from mistakes. But all of us have belief systems about mistakes. So I want you to think about what your belief system is about mistakes. Are you the person that believes that mistakes are opportunities for growth and you have a growth mindset? Are you the person that believes that mistakes, oh my gosh, they're bad, I shouldn't make mistakes. If I make a mistake, I should blame others or I should hide my mistakes? Are you the type of person that really believes, I can't make mistakes, therefore I have to be perfect? So we all have belief systems about mistakes, and this stems from when we're very young. So think about this simple example. When you were a toddler, I don't know anyone that hasn't spilled milk at some point, right? So my daughter spilled milk just yesterday. So how do we respond when a child spills milk, right? Some of us respond to go, oh, it's the worst thing in the world, and you'll notice when a child does something, they'll pause for a moment before they react, and they'll look at you. They'll look to see what your response is, right? Because they're figuring it out. And if your response is, oh, every time they spill milk, they start to believe, that's bad. Oh no, I should hide it. I should blame, I can't make mistakes. If your response is, oops, we spilled milk. How are you going to clean that up? Then the child, you'll see their body just goes, and they relax. So thinking about how we can help children develop belief systems that help them to feel capable and help them to feel resilient and develop those kind of belief systems rather than fear and anxiety. So the best things that you can do right now for your kids, and I don't want to leave anything out, so I'm gonna look at my notes a little bit. Number one, be mindful about what you say and how you behave. Are you modeling fear and anxiety? Are you modeling resilience and positivity? Now we won't do either 100% of the time, so don't put pressure on yourself to do it all the time. But thinking about what are you modeling for your children? Give children the opportunities to feel a sense of belonging and significance. Now, right now, what we're going through is a great opportunity for both of those things. We have such an opportunity to be, to feel a sense of belonging and significance, right? A sense of belonging, connection to our families. I don't think mine has ever been stronger right now, to be honest, with my husband and with my daughter. And significance, opportunities to contribute to the home. So use this as an opportunity. Encourage your child and yourself. Okay, we'll talk more about encouragement on Friday. And focus on a growth mindset. Now, I'm seeing a question, can belief systems be changed after 6 years with parent change and training? Thank you for that question, Yasmina. This is a great question, and it brings me to my last point. Changing your mindset and seeing this challenge that we're all facing and uncertainty as an opportunity. Find the silver lining. Everything in life starts with your mindset. Okay, your mindset is how you think about yourself and the world around you. It's really the foundation for our happiness, our mindset. The good news is, to answer your question, you can always change your mindset. We know because of neuroplasticity that we can change and rewire our brain, but it's harder. The more we reinforce those belief systems, the harder it is to change them. So absolutely, we can change them. And one of the things that we're doing, and Yasmin, if you can join us in every morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, UK time. And if you can't join us live, you can join us join the recording, we have created affirmation cards for kids, because affirmations, we explain to kids, are like magic words. If you repeat them, you start to believe them, which makes them come true. So it's that repetition that programs the child's brain. Okay, so it's programming their brain. So this morning, our affirmation, what we're doing in the morning with kids is we're starting off with a quick stretch. We're doing a mindfulness activity. We're doing a daily affirmation, a song and dance. There's lots of dancing today. And we're ending with gratitude. And our affirmation for today was, I am happy. And everyone shared, things that make them happy. They shared their gratitude. So if you want to join that group with your children, that's happening on our Happy Resilient Kids Facebook group. So you can just go and ask to join the group and join us either live or watch the recording. Does anyone have any questions? I've shared a lot. We're up to 20 minutes. Thank you. Najette is saying that her kids loved it this morning. So I'm glad that they enjoyed it. We received a lot of positive messages. I shared a lot about belief systems today. And some of you as adults, you will realize that your belief systems are coming up now, and they're driving your behavior. So if you notice any negative belief systems happening, think about how you want to rewire, reprogram your brain. Oh, thank you. Question, where can I get the affirmation cards from? Thank you. You're asking such good questions. So number one, we have decided we are offering our digital deck absolutely free. You can download it on our iGrowCo website. So it's www.igrowco.com. And if you go to our 1 for 1 page, you can fill out the form and you will immediately receive the digital deck for free. If you want to get, I don't have the cards with me. I can get them. Hold on. Okay, that's probably, you're not supposed to do that on Facebook Live, but I did it. So if you want the cards, you can order them online. It's actually still 1-2-day delivery in the UK. And this is the deck. There's lots of characters. Sorry, these are upside down, some of them. Lots of affirmations. So you can order those at igrowco.com. If you want to know more about the belief behind the behavior and understanding the private logic, we have an entire chapter dedicated to that in our book and in all of the Positive Discipline books, which you can get on Amazon. And our book is on audio as well, so you can listen to it and not have to sit down and read it. So if you like this session, please share it with your friends and please comment below. In addition, the next session tomorrow night, as I mentioned, it's going to be about recovering from our mistakes and seeing mistakes as opportunities. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Take care. Bye.